My name is Karen Wilson and I'm the Student Support Advisor within Student Services. I run a service called Study Plus, which is available term time weekdays from 9:30 to 1 p.m. The service offers additional support to organise your time and workload, an opportunity to raise quick questions about your studies, study skills advice, or a regular point of contact to ensure your studies are keeping on track and communication is being kept up to date, for example emails. The purpose of this session is to consider different ways of taking notes and considering which might be most useful for you and discussing the importance of note-taking at university. Okay, so let's pause for a moment and think about why we should take notes at university, when we should take notes and where. The reasons why it's a good idea to take notes are: it aids as a reminder of your thought flow or the lecture flow. It helps you retain more detailed information attached to a single word or phrase. It helps you organise your thoughts and it makes your overall learning experience more meaningful. It gives you a means of recording the key information that you need to know. It can act as a prompt for you to investigate later certain topics in more depth. You can also use notes as a starting point for expansion at a later date, for example when writing coursework. When in class, note-taking is a means of keeping your concentration on track as you are concentrating on what is relevant to write down. Notes help you learn, structure your ideas in a logical manner, and then give you the opportunity to look at things you don't understand in more detail. There is too much information for you to learn throughout your modules and during a whole semester, therefore it is vital preparation for coursework research, writing and submission, and exam revision. It is very difficult to decide when to take notes. You should take notes when you hear something that is relevant to your course and when you are preparing your coursework. Notes should also be taken when you are doing background reading for your coursework or exam revision. Notes are also a good way of consolidating a lot of information into a briefer format. So where is it likely that you will be taking notes? Lectures are possibly the times when you will take a large number of your notes, not only during them but in preparation for them and in consolidation of the information given. It is likely that you will have to work in groups during your university career, therefore this is a good place to take notes as others may make points which evoke further research ideas in you. You may also make notes during tutorials or labs. In fact, you will make notes wherever you study. This may be in the library, at home, in the coffee shop, etc. What problems can there be when taking notes? It is difficult to decide what is important to note down, therefore you may end up writing too much and getting left behind. It is also difficult to write and listen at the same time, particularly if you are writing too much, so you may feel you are being left behind or missing important information. When it comes to reviewing your notes, they may just look like an organised mess which contain more questions than answers, and you may find it difficult to read your writing. So what is the solution? The solution is to find a note-taking style which works for you. A good starting point may be to complete a learning styles questionnaire to determine what kind of learner you are, which will give you tips on how you may learn best. Speak to me at Study Plus or visit the UAD Learning Zone course on Blackboard. Good notes are concise and they contain most of the useful information. They consist of keywords and short phrases. They are also clear and have headings and subheadings, and they also involve creativity and active learning. An important part of the note-taking process is choosing a style which is most suitable for you. This may be based on your learning style, or you may just spend some time practicing using some of the styles suggested later in the presentation. You may naturally develop your own form of shorthand which will save you some time. Using ring binders and loose A4 paper makes it easier to move and reorganise the information that you have collected. It is a good idea to read your module descriptors and prepare for lectures, for example by carrying out some reading and making initial notes beforehand. It is just as important to review these notes afterwards, adding in extra information while the subject is fresh in your mind. When taking notes, it is useful to get into the habit of noting down the author and resource or speaker, so you're able to revisit that research or reference it in your coursework. Keep your notes organised. You won't have enough time to search through screeds of paper to find the information you're looking for coursework. It is a good idea to include headings and subheadings in your notes so it is easy to find information. It also helps when it comes to revision. Work with your peers, share your ideas and notes with your friends on your course. By talking, you may discover other ways of looking at things. The first note-taking style we will consider is a linear style. This involves organising your notes in a list format, making use of keywords and short phrases. Headings and subheadings will be useful, as well as bullet points, underlining and highlighting. It is important to avoid large blocks of text, for example sentences and paragraphs. Here's an example of the linear style of note-taking. If we were looking at the causes of World War II, you may want to split this into 3 areas: the short-term causes, the long-term causes, and the triggers, before further dividing each category. Your notes would look like this. The second format we will consider is the Cornell note-taking style. With this style, you divide your page into 2 or 3 columns, each one serving a different purpose. For example, column 1 may contain keywords, summary notes or your thoughts, and column 2 may contain theories, arguments, or evidence. Here is an example of the Cornell note-taking style. You will see that we are comparing note-taking styles in this table. For each note-taking style, column 1, we list the main features, column 2, and the advantages or disadvantages, column 3. The third style we will look at are pattern styles. These are more visual in nature. They use arrows and circles to connect key ideas. The key theme is usually in the middle, and subtopics branch off from this, and so on. Here is a visual representation of the advantages and disadvantages of pattern notes. As you see, the main focus is in the middle, and the 2 areas of discussion are branching off of this. We then list advantages and disadvantages as branches off each bubble. Mind maps are a common way of organising notes, and there are many software packages which allow you to construct these. We have FreeMind available at the university, but Read and Write Gold also has a mind mapping facility in it. Returning to the analogy we used for linear notes, we can see that the main topic is shown in the middle. You can see that the causes are shown in blue and the effects in red. The short-term causes are indicated at the left, and the trigger is indicated on the right. The use of colour adds another dimension to the map. So let's look at taking lecture notes in general. Before the lecture, prepare by reading over the recommended reading list and the aims of the lecture. Consider what you already know and what you need to find out. During the lecture, listen for new ideas and information and write down key points and words, names and dates, using colour where appropriate. After the lecture, review your notes and look for additional information to broaden your knowledge. When you're taking notes from books or articles, you must include the author, title of the publication, the edition, the publisher's name, the date and place of publication, the website address where you accessed it, and the page numbers you read. It is important you note down all of this information to avoid plagiarism. Plagiarism is copying other people's ideas or words without giving them the credit. Therefore, by referencing as suggested, you should avoid this. If you need further information at any time, you can visit me at Study Plus or make an appointment with Student Academic Support. We are based on Level 2 of the library. There are also a number of resources available on Blackboard in the UAD Learning Zone course. More information is also available on the Learn Higher website.